to make sure I saw everyone's comments. So I restarted the live, and the algorithm's going to let everyone know that we're back. So we've been doing this series on ruins. If you haven't been here before, my name's Gabriel Stockton. We've been doing these, and quarterly we pick a theme, and so we are going to look at the California Tower, which now is called the Tower of Us or Museum of Us, and there is an Egyptian exhibit. So we're gonna paint an artifact today that's in that museum. So it kind of gonna get a little bit of a glimpse of what you can see if you're visiting here in San Diego. Let me know in the comments if you can hear me. Give me a thumbs up, smash that like button. I've seen you all come back. That's wonderful. Let's dive in. So I'm super stoked that you all are here with me and you can make comments. Yeah, it is. The comments. Let me know. Yeah, right, you can hear me and I can see your comments. I'm so happy. I'm so stoked. So let me just, if you were already here, I apologize. So here we are in the Museum of Us, and we are looking at the Egyptian exhibit, and this is what you will see. We're gonna go through this, and now you're more than welcome to always email me something. And I met a gentleman today that had some really cool stuff, and we'll entertain his items another time. I also get this. I heard about the old LA Zoo, and it kind of looks like ruins too. So we have some other fun stuff up and coming. So as we're looking through here, I had picked out, look at that, there is this bamboo. And yeah, number 2, there he is. And we're gonna just go through these, and we're gonna pick something. And of course, you can always watch the replay here. This is a children's coffin lid. It's got so much neat details in it. These were fun. There's another baboon. And there was something else that was kind of neat in here. Hippopotamus. That's a hippopotamus. All right. All right, move it along. So we're going, this baboon here. That's a fun little one, to do a sketch of. And it's kind of got that cool little shadow. And so it looks like it was a bead at one time. And yeah, it even says glazed ceramic. And there's the date too. And yeah, these were pretty cool. What's this? Number 4. A lion sculpture. So that's pretty cool. And then you got these guys here. And it's this man spearing a lion on a horse. That's pretty neat. We got something coming up that's for some of you believers out there, we got some cool stuff coming up. I kind of like this view. This was a neat view. And I take all these different views when I see these things because of the lighting. The lighting changes. See, look, a different angle this way, now this way. Could you just see me being super silly, just taking all these different... Because that's what I didn't want. I didn't want you to... Oh, this is a video. Bum, bum, bum. I try to go at the certain times where, you know, there's not too many people walking by, but there's someone. Sorry. So getting you some different views and angles of these. We'll turn it this way. We get more picture here. And here's some other lids. Now we're back this way. And they're quite intricate. Really neat. Look at this. You know, really fun. Look at that one from that angle. There's some other ones coming up really neat here, and some pottery. There's some other, these are some other artifacts. You're getting to see the rest of the exhibit. And these figurines here. You know, the iPhone now just takes such great photos, right? And so when you're painting these things, it's good to take some video, because then you're getting some angles without reflections and whatnot. You can stop the video. Like, see that? That is just a real bummer. And then so if you do a video, you can move through this room and come from different angles. So it kind of helps you from having 50 million different, and then you might forget to take a picture of something. What was that? So when you get video, you can stop these and then pick something, and then again scanning this way, looking at these artifacts, we can just see more of the details. And of course, there's my running shoes. That happens, right? And yeah, this little statue, and of course a reflection. This was kind of neat. This slate piece here from 1800s, that was kind of neat. Now we get this little piece from a different angle. Now we're getting some neat shadows. This is kind of a boring shot, you know? This is helpful to hit. Now we got some really cool pottery in here. Sorry if this is boring for you. We are going to get to sketching and painting just here shortly. I just wanted to let you see all the different stuff, you know. This is, you know, this one here and this one. It's good to take a picture straight on, and we can see this stuff in here. And again, we can see all these fun details. You know, this is fun, you know, get to, you know, that was your old pillow back in the day. Pretty interesting, right? This was kind of neat. This is just something they made at the museum. You know, it's quite neat. And there's Balboa Park. So you walk out on this landing, you look side to side, and you get this wonderful view. Look at that. And I take a few. I think there was one that was definitely worthy. Yeah, there we go. Now the sun's coming out. This is going back into the museum, which this is kind of neat too, right? Look at that fun perspective. And this is something that I enjoyed, were these big paintings. And I like this because iPhone, it just takes such a good photo. And of course, if you have Wi-Fi, right? But you know, this is something we did kind of like last week. If you weren't here with us, hello, Paula. And Eric's here, hello. And Jackie's here, Marie. And Mike and Jackie. All right. And so there were 4 of these different paintings. And this is really nice. A really nice piece. Look at this one here. Hopefully it kicks in. There we go. That one's better. Look at that. You know, this could be a fun one to paint. And there you go. There's a better picture. And kind of something similar to what we did last week, but just a little different format, right? So take different pictures with your camera. This was the other part of the exhibit. And we may even do something like this. That's pretty cool too, right? There was this little dude. He was cool. I know we did Mayan stuff last week, but this little figurine is just adorable. And I was trying to find some more. There we go. There was another. I think there was 6 of these cool paintings, and it almost reminds me of, like, you know, sergeants pictures. So sometimes there'll be a glare. See that glare? So you want to, like, when you're photographing these things, catch other angles. You know, that was a cool piece right there. The funny thing was, it was about Egyptian beer for breakfast, which was quite entertaining. Then we got this little artifact. I took some different little views. He kind of looks a little chubby, personally. And like different angles, different views. Look at it from the top. And I'm just... oh, these were interesting. And I'm just wanting to show you the rest of these murals. They're really nice. Look at that, just depicting this place. And there was 2 more. Here we are. Bum, bum, bum. Look at this one. This one is a little more light. I was like, what was the artist doing before? So these ruins are down in Mexico. Really cool. Yeah. Yeah, I was really enjoying just the light. You know, and when when you paint a piece like this, and that's what I love about the iPad is, it took me a really long time to get an iPad. I finally got this one on my birthday last year, and it's not the latest and greatest either. It's like, I think a 10. Like, I'm really enjoying this. I love these earth tones, the lightness of it. You know, some of you don't want to go too dark. I even see some lavender. You know, me and my lavender, I like that lavender. Like, look at that. And we're starting to see some of this stuff down in here. I don't know if this is here. I did not take the time. Now, I was thinking about doing a museum piece but what if I do the museum piece, I want really nice lighting. I caught these guys putting up they were putting up this new, now this is the San Diego Art Museum. These guys are putting up a new banner. And there was a museum piece that, these were cool, these busts. So when you take a picture of this bust and you plan on maybe sketching from it, take different angles. There's a lot of angles here. And I want to show you this exhibit where it had some lighting. This was cool. The way the light is hitting that. This is ideal for watercolor. That we can create that luminosity. You know, the Egyptian area was kind of... Oh yeah, here it is. Look at this, the way the light was hitting here. You have to go at the right time to catch it, though. It's a certain time of the day. Look at these. These are fun. And look at the way the light is hitting here. We might do this one another time. We'll probably do something. So this window is hitting some light, but I goofed. I didn't take the picture right when I got there. When you see something, take the picture then, because then it's already too low. And there was these you have to walk all the way around these. There is some cool stuff on each different side. I was like, this is so intricate. And you gotta walk around these, like, and there's that one. And see, this one I got a different lighting, so I'm trying to find the right time for the right lighting. Like look at this. This is on the back side of the one that we saw lit up. So I digress now. Now I just there's these wonderful murals of recent artists. And there's that exhibit with that little dude right there. And for some reason, it's not focusing. So we'll go back to Egypt. But we'll come back to this spot. I'm just trying to find, I'm trying to find something for you that I think we'll go here. I think we'll do, we had video here. Here we go. So what we're going to do is pause. Hey, pause. Oh my goodness. I want us a 3/4 view. And we're going to stop. Right. We'll do a straight on. All right, there we go. So I'm gonna get out some pencils here, and I'm trying out some different pencils. Eric let me know that some pencils are not showing up on the live. So I have your regular black wing here. And we got our handy dandy sketchbook. So when I do something like this, I want just a general, shape, and it kind of looks circular. So, but this part here, now I'm adding some pressure, and then it and this kind of comes down. Then we've got this piece here. This kicks back over here. Now, when I look at this, I look at this line. So let me show you what I see. And Eric loves it when I pull out this technology. He just gets super happy. Uh-oh, it's not gonna let me edit. Oh no, unable to edit video. Huh, that is... Alright, well, it is what it is. We're going old school. So I'm gonna show you the center line on this artifact. And so if I draw this in a box, and I draw from this corner to this corner, I now have found the center of the box. But this is not in the center. It's the nose is kind of over here. You see that? And then we have this this little, we'll put this mark right here for the nose line. This line right here for the eyes, the forehead, the chin, and the mouth. All right. Now we'll do a contour line, which we're like a little ant. And then he's climbing. This to an ant would be like a hill, right? So the ant would go up the bottom of the nose to the tip, and then back and down, and then up like this, and then it comes up the bridge of that area to the forehead and back. Then it goes up for this little ridge right here, and back like this. This is the contour of our center area. Now we've got that mouth, the top lip, the bottom of that top lip, the top of the bottom lip. This is a mouthful, jeez. Then the bottom of the bottom lip. And then our chin. Holy cow. And then it goes under the neck and down and straight. Okay? So now what I like to do is start at the brow. So I am creating this brow here. Okay? And then I'm creating this bottom half here. Like this. Okay? And then we've got our nose shape like this. There's our nostril. If you look, the nostrils come right here. This person actually knew the anatomy. So that nostrils go up. And now we have where we have the inside of the eye. Okay. Now we've got the inside of our eye there. We've got the eyelid that comes right about here, like that. Underneath the eyelid This is Egyptian, so it has those little pieces that come out. We're gonna emphasize this piece here. So this kind of comes up and over and up and over like that. There's the center line part of the top of the bridge of the nose. This now comes under and like that. Now we're gonna bring this out here. Now this mouth, it's kind of smiling-ish. Maybe not. That's to the center of our eyes. So there's the bottom right there. We're gonna make it a little bit smiling. There's that top of the bottom lip. Underneath, there's that nice shadow. Such a nice shadow. We could just put that in there right now. Now, I like to do little sketches before I run off to do a painting. And some of you have asked me if I wouldn't mind spending a little time doing a little drawing on here. And that's fine. We've got this chin here, but I am considering doing not a drawing channel, but a drawing day. And where I'll come live and we'll do some drawing. If that's something you would be interested in, just put that in the comment. Yay or nay for some drawing on another day other than Wednesday. So look, I'm making the shadow shape. Now that ear, the top of the ear comes about where the eyebrow is. The bottom of the ear comes right where the mouth is. And it's like a G for Gabriel. See that? An ear is like a G, like this. See the G? Pretty cool. All right, so we're gonna do that. Bring that in there, and then look, I'm just gonna knock in some shadow shapes here on this one side of the face, like that. And we're just getting to know this subject before we just dive in. It's good to spend some time. There's a shadow shape behind our ear, and you can make the shape first and then shade it in. Have all your shading go kind of one direction. This goes down. This is gonna come like this. There we go. And then we got this eye here, another eye shadow shape there. There's this thing in here, a little shadow shape there, another shadow shape here. If you have a rubber nearby, one of these rubbers, like this, all of you can knock down some of these lines and just kind of soften like that. And wow, look at there. It's already kind of coming to life. I'm going to do a little shadow shape between the artifact and my box. That's going to create some light in my sketch. See that? And I'll go ahead and do that little shadow shape on this side over here. And then we've got some textures in here, right? little textures. Doesn't have to be perfect. There's little dots and dashes in this forehead. Just got to come in right in here. Look at that. And we probably have some new people joining us. There were some lovely people that came in the studio today that were super excited about Watercolor Wednesday. Or there might just be the usual. And some people are just going to watch the replay. That's fine. Could be really late where you are, and I get it. And we got this side of the face. Now we're going to just build this contour shape in. There's another shadow shape. When I say shadow shape, for instance, if I have a shape that's like this, I'm going to draw it first and then fill that in. And then I have another shape that comes down like this. And then there's that shape. And then I fill that part in. Okay. And then I've got another light. And then another shadow shape coming underneath like this. These are helpful for some of you that are reintroducing drawing back into your repertoire. And so then it just really just needs some darker sections to beef up these shapes. And always start lighter, okay? Always start lighter. So that's one view. Let's go on to our video. That's straight on. I think you all can do a straight on view. I think there was one here. That lady was not a ghost. She actually was just a person. Now, see, this is why I take pictures of both sides. There is not much shadow work going on here. So, really, we only have an edge. All right. So, let's go back and pause. Boop. Let's see if I can do this. There we go. And it smiled for us. Oh, great. This gal is in our video. So sorry. Jeez. Oh, too funny. All right. So we're not drawing the gal, but we're looking at this. So now we're coming here. And we did this. We should now feel very comfortable because we were like a little ant going down this thing. So there's this little piece that pops in right here. Now we're on the forehead. Okay. And then there's our little slope of our nose. The slope of our nose, and if it helps, we can first just do a little oval right here, and our nose will be here, our mouth will be here, our chin will be here, our eyes will be here, and the forehead, okay? And that way we have some proportions to work with. There we go. This is going to come back like this. All right. This is gonna kick up, and there's like an S. See this S curvature? And it creates that lovely, see that S shape? That now brings us down here to our lips. And kick in. And kick out. And back in. And over. There's our chin. And we're coming back. There's another kind of elongated S. Like this. Those lips are really perky. Let's bring those lips coming back. So there's a shadow shape right there. There's a shadow shape under our nostril. It's kind of like a circle coming down. And then that shadow shape goes up and under the nose like this. Then we've got a shadow shape under. Is shadow shape the word for the day, like Pee Wee Herman show? I think so. We're all gonna scream every time Gabriel says shadow shape. Look at this, shadow shape is creating, so we're creating these shapes. Now, these are pretty kind of hard. Now, by doing that shape, I could see that I have kind of a weak chin. So let's kick that over here. Now, if you would like to know what colors to get ready with, I would say get out your buff titanium. He's always a fun guy at the party. Buff titanium. There's this shadow we did earlier, and it's coming on up around the cheeks like this. And see how those are all kind of going. Now, I told you where the ear is. So the ear is at the brow here. And at the mouth. So there's that ear back there. It's got this lobe. And then let's come over here to the bridge. The other color we can get for this paint project today is goethite. I would maybe grab some lavender, and definitely grab, just for fun, let's just see what happens. Grab yourself some cobalt turquoise. So there's this eye. I'm just doing the shadow shapes. There's something I'm seeing we didn't see in the front. Look at that. Boom, boom. So this little bump, bump. And now this here. Dun, dun, dun. And a little shadow shape. Coming over here. And then we're, got a little bit of light. This is going to help you practice saving those whites. I can't have anybody telling people, Gabriel did not teach me how to save my whites. Alright, there's this shadow shape. And we've got this now, the forehead coming up and over. That seems a little off. Something's not kosher with me. Let's finish bringing that up and over and back. And now down, over. Let's bring this shadow shape up here, up there, bum, bum, bum. And this, we do end up seeing a little bit of the other eye. So there is a little glimpse of the bridge of the nose. Okay. And this is actually wrong here. You know, you think a side profile is easy, but your teacher got stumped just a little bit there for a second. We're gonna come here. This now eye is here. You gotta leave that bridge of the nose though. If you don't get that, and then under here, and then this can kick back up. And I'll just hit it with the eraser there, rubber, whatever you want to call it. There it is, the bridge of the nose. This is gonna now come over this way. And smiling. I like it. I think it's smiling. There's little textures. You can do some of this work in here like this. Some of this little texture stuff. If you get it in the wrong spot, I won't call the texture drawing police. It's all good in the neighborhood. So some textures kind of coming back this way, like this. I usually just paint that stuff. Let's get the ear. It's just an S. It's a graffiti S. Like that. See that? This kicks in. But now it's got a little bit of edge work to it. Then you get all fanciness and start making this a 3D S. Look at that, ladies and gentlemen. And if you want, you can just have fun and just scribble it. You know, what's gonna happen if you scribble it? Maybe a good happy accident. And now I come in here. And this is called getting to know your subject. And then watch this. I just come here now and just do that over here. Real rough. Rough and quick. Like that. And now I put some... This comes over. Like that. This comes here. And some of you are watching in bed. Just don't let us know. Some of you might be just watching on the toilet. Don't let us know about that either. Some of you are watching on the couch. Some of you are painting along, which is even better. But I get it. It's late for some of you. But check this out. That kind of looks lame and boring. But what if we just... If my light source is coming from this direction. So right here, I've got a light. And if you take your eraser and just do some streaks where the light's hitting. All right, we'll do it here. All right, look at that. It looks like light's hitting this thing now, and it looks like you actually probably knew what you were drawing. But where the light couldn't hit, I'm gonna get just a little bit dark right here. And the light obviously wasn't hitting here. Now I'm just gonna drop that in. Drop it in like it's hot, I think they say these days. What are the cool kids saying now? Drop it like it's snot. So, look at that. It looks like you made this kind of this a little more lively. All right. So, where do we go from here, you ask? Well, what would happen if we hit play again? And have you ever played Russian roulette? Like, literally, no. Like, and stop. No, 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 stop. Oh, great. And, oh, really? The gal walked right through. My goodness. Let's see if I go back around. Do I go back around? No, I didn't. Shucks. It's all good. I'm liking the frontal view, but for today, I'm going to play a fun game. I'm going to use, you can always use your reference, but we can now, if you were with us in the past, we did this on a Watercolor Wednesday, if you're new here. We did that on a Watercolor Wednesday. That was fun. And we're here today. So, if I were to just use photo reference for a photo reference, and we were looking last week on drawing this in a box. Now, we just had fun doing some contour edge work, and we're getting now familiar with this subject. You could use your imagination and maybe draw this thing as if you were looking at it from the top view, but slightly angled upward. So here we are now looking at this like that. And then we've got the bridge of the nose. And then we really can't see the eyes, but now we're seeing the cheeks and the lips, the chin, and you're like, I don't even know what he just did, but that's why I enjoy coming here, because he doesn't help us just do the easy stuff. So here we go. We are now looking at this object as if we were hovering above it. How cool is that? And there's the ear. This is going to come back. And then there's the other ear. There's the chin. This one, you get to see the goatee straight on. That is cool. I totally did not see that. There's a goatee here, folks. Right here. How did I miss that? That's weird. Huh. Well, alrighty then. Silly Gabriel. I don't prepare for these. It's true. I just hop in here and I'm just crazy like that. But I did go to the museum. Got you some photos. Well, I appreciate all of you being here, but it's time to paint. So, I'm going to use a different pencil though. This pencil is the other black wing. I will probably be using these going forward. I do like my Cheap Joe's pencils, but eventually those aren't going to be around much longer. And so, if you can get your hands on these are like a 3B. But this is a little bit lighter than a 3B, but not a 2B. So, all right. I'm going to do the front of this because I totally sloughed. I feel like I'm a bad teacher. There's my center line. Okay. Here's where my eyes are gonna be. Here's my nose. Here's my mouth, my chin, and a goatee. Alright, and then from the nose, if you're doing something, you want that measurement of this and the measurement of that. So however many the cross part is, because that goes into this length, is what you want. So it looks like that this goes 1, 2 1/4. So if I go here, I can go 1, 2. So a little bit lower. All right, so there's my nose, my nostril flare out here. So now that tells me that the eyes come in here. So those eyes are gonna be right in here. So if I draw this, now I've got this eye here, this here. All right. Now I look at this, should be able to fit an eye in here, and then typically it's 5 eyes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but it looks a little bit shorter. So we definitely want to be able to have an eye that would be right here. And then it looks like for this one, it's a little bit less. So this comes down and into the temple of the side of your skull here. And then we've got that forehead. Just think of a bandana around Axl Rose, I guess. Your favorite rocker. Who's your favorite rocker? Put it in the comments. Classic rock. I would have to say classic rock would be Leonard Skinner. Another person that wore a bandana is, he's still alive, is good old Willie Nelson. Right? He's still alive. There's that shadow shape. There's a busted piece right here. Look at that. There's a busted piece above the eyebrow, which is going to make this now interesting. There's this shadow shape around our eyeball. And underneath that eyelid. And now the same thing here. Now this eyebrow is there, but there's a shadow shape over here. Now we're gonna erase these, but we're just Getting in some cheeks. A little bit light over there. We've got the nostrils. This shape coming here. We've got that upper lip. The bottom lip. Upper bottom. Say that 10 times. Upper bottom, upper bottom. This shadow shape. Gabriel, why didn't you just do this at the beginning? Because I'm actually seeing more than just the nuts and bolts now. Now I'm starting to see the real details that I didn't see before. That's how I do this. I've always enjoyed research. Whenever I got a commission, I like to research something. When I do a house portrait, I will Google house them on Google Earth, and I will look at the top of the house to see what that house looks like from Google Earth. That way I get kind of like the structure, this shadow shape coming around. Now this piece is going to come way up there and kick out, and it doesn't have to be perfect because the edges are not round, but I am looking at the width. That's going to kick out over there. This is going to kick out. I'm looking at this width this way, and what does that compare with the nose to the outside of the cheek? A little bit more. All right, a little bit more. And then how about this side? I look at that. And then over here. Whoa, just a titch more. There we go. Coming on down. And I look at this here. Comes below that bottom lip. It kicks out right there. Too bad we got some of this broken stuff here, but it's going to kick out here. What about our ears? Well, we looked at the ears. The ears are up here at the eyebrow. We're almost learning how to do a portrait today, huh? There's our G, or now it's an S. This is an S shape. Where does that bottom of the ear come? To the lip. So this comes like a S. And here. And back up. And like that. It almost looks like the... Oh, I'm trying to think what skateboard company that is. Is it Powell Peralta? I don't know. Dun dun dun. This comes here. This is... And we got that shadow shape coming off of that ear. Whoa, we're really getting a workout. What time are we at? We're already at 7 o'clock. It's okay, because we had to start. We had to restart. This is going to come down. Did you put in the comments if you want some drawing on a different day? Let me know. This shadow shape underneath the lip comes down and over. We've got this chin and the shadow shape here. And the lovely wife did not go to music lessons today, so she's being really quiet. Wonder what she's up to, folks. What's Miss Stockton up to? And this shadow shape. Look at that. Wow. There's that shadow shape in the eye. And, drawing day, says Marcos. We're coming along. We're coming along. All right, Marcos. Sounds good. we will start adding some more drawing to the channel for a small fee of $9.90. I'm not just kidding. Would you like a workshop on drawing? We just do a Saturday. We'll see. We'll see. I'm not gonna commit to too much too soon. We'll see who shows up and who's. So make sure you are getting the wonderful if you are subscribed, you should be getting the blogs that I put out on Tuesday and Wednesday. If not, you can join me over at Substack. Substack is a pretty cool platform where I've been posting future stuff, what we plan on doing here. Here's that goatee. Goatee coming in. It's really just a cylinder, friends. If you can draw here's our chin. And then this comes down like this. But now there's a cylinder right there. That's our goatee. And this is our neck. This is under the chin. And then this side getting the shadows. And we're really just drawing a cylinder. Keeping it simple. See that? There is a cool little collarbone kind of thing right in there. And a little bit of shading there. And I think there might be a little shading here because of the light. The weird, crazy light special effects at the zoo. Look at that. So, I just do it again. Down here. And we're going to come here. You know where I got this little box? The Container Store. Container Store. They go in your drawer for your silverware. And it's a little more classy than just the plastic stuff you get. But you know what? Just recently at the dollar store, the dollar store has been getting a little bougie since it's not $1 anymore. Out here in California, it's $1.25. And so there's that neck and this little platform here. So there's this little platform. Almost like a little box that the goatee is in. See this little thing? And then this is like a little box right here. Does that make sense? Like a box. All right. So then there's that same little box right here under the chin. And it's creating that little neck. See that? And then we got the little hoopty, but it's busted right there. Oh, it's a real ruin. We're not making this brand new. This is about ruins. So there's that crack. There's this gets shading down in here and it scoops around. broken pieces. Oh my goodness. And that. And we're going to pretend we can see broken pieces over here. And that shadow shape. And I gotta fix this ear shape. A little more dramatic drama. There's some shadow textures coming around. And now this side's pretty light. These are nice little light areas. There's a little shadow shape right here. There's a darker shadow shape for our nostril. And another one, but not so dark. Look at that. All right, we are gonna paint this, and I'm just I'm slowly drawing this. No, we've stopped, you know, because we're seeing more. That's the joy. I love this little. Look at this. Almost looks like a tear. Little thing. And this gets a little bit darker here. The nice thing about these wing, you can get replacements, and you can flip it around and it goes back in here, and now that's nice and clean, and I can just clean up that edge. So there's this starter kit you can get from Blackwing, and I've got it right here. So it's called the Blackwing Audition. Sorry, Cheap Joe's doesn't have this, but it comes with 4 different pencils, and they're different. They're not your usual pencil. There's that black one. There's this one. This one, it comes with the white one. And if you go to Blackwing, and they will give you a first time discount. This only cost $15. These 4 pencils, and they're pretty nice. And when you've got a decent little sharpener, they make a really nice point. And so if you need to up your drawing game on your drawing pencil accessory, now you might even have one of these lying around your house. I found this one. I was cleaning up the studio, and I got this from an art show I went to. And this one is a little bit darker, though. It feels like it's a little more like a 5B. All right, let's get this other side in. We've got a light shadowing here. Let's get that other ear in. Comes over here, and this is kind of like a dyslexic SG thing. And look at where it is. It's actually higher on this side. It doesn't come, it's higher on this side. See that? So when I put that shadow shape, like this. Now this is nice. It's got a nice little thin to thick line work. That is gonna bring your A game up for your art. This kicks back this way here. There's a shadow shape that goes on this weird angle. That chunk of the ear is busted. So now we're doing ruins. There's this cool circle-y shape. Then there's this other fun S shape coming back here. Keep it light, don't go too dark. There's this pitted stuff all in there. Let's wrap this up and get some painting done. the painting's gonna go really quick. That's the problem, but I'm gonna make this really fun for you. You're gonna see how easy. Let's drop this shadow shape in here. There's the shadow shape under the draw, which is the jaw. There's a light shadow here that makes that chin pop out. But there's a glow on the back side of this cheek. See that glow? You gotta leave that glow, yo. Oh boy. And I'm gonna get this lip action looking real nice here. This is kind of pitted down in here. It's not pretty. This is a really cool pitted artifact. There's some little bits and pieces in there. When you do some of this and you leave some of this pencil work in here, I'm working on this really fun Kilimanjaro sketchbook. We're gonna have to find something new that's out there. If you hear of anything out with art supplies, let me know. You know, once Cheap Joe's closed, where are you gonna buy your art supplies? Or are you just stocking up like it's the Armageddon or something? This could go a little bit higher. And there's that. This dark stuff over here is gonna help. All right, what is missing? This stuff. All right, some pitted stuff, that's it. I was like, there's something missing. Some little pitted stuff in here. I think with the drawing class, we'll do some pen and ink too. Do you remember doing pointillism in high school? I don't know if we'll get that cray, but we might do some cool pen and inks. The shadow shape comes down here. And almost just a super cool sketch where, like, do we even dare paint over it at this point, or just put it in our portfolio as a wonderful sketch? And I say no. This is Watercolor Wednesday. We paint. But what I am going to do is I'm going to try to do a screenshot. Hey, let me do a screenshot. Nice. So, I'll be posting that as well when we talk about a post. That snapshot right here. An upcoming saying, hey, let's go live to do some sketching. All right. So, I'm going to get my mop brush. This one. And I'm going to get a perla. Actually, let's use this new brush. This is the new Evolution. Holds a little extra water. Just so you can see it demoed. How about that? Now, I'm not gonna go in here and erase like I normally do, because I want you to see what this does. Then I'm gonna grab me a perla. This is gonna hold lots of pigment, okay? Hey, there's 10 of you here. All right, wonderful. So I said buff titanium. I'm gonna put in that buff titanium and put a little bit of Queen Gold Deep. That was the one I was trying to think of. So now it's kind of making it kind of goldish. So I'm gonna put this in, but I've got to save my whites. So I'm now coming in here, doing the shadow shape. And there's there's this shadow shape. And in here, there's that separation of that ear. Now there's that nice light. Now I've got some goethite. I'm gonna make a batch of goethite, but bring some of this into the goethite. It gets a little bit darker over here. And if you lose a little bit of whites, I'm not gonna tell the white cop police people. Now I said, hey, what if let's get risque. Let's get adventurous. How about that? Here's this shadow shape. This wonderful eye shape. But get ready to use some cobalt turquoise here in a second. And look, I love the point on that puppy. Isn't that nice? And look, they made a flat part. So when I put this down, it doesn't roll off of my easel. I'm on, this is a 30, 25 incline. It's not rolling away. Watch this. Whoop. See that? That's a beautiful thing. I'm such a happy camper. Look at this. I'm adding some turquoise, some goethite, and I just made a nice darker color to drop in here. Ladies and gentlemen, look at that. That's 2 greens, so I'm going to go back to goethite. I don't want this looking like a soldier. So, too much cobalt is going to make it green. But just enough is going to make it dark enough to make that shadow shape. Watch this. I'm going to now just spread this out a little bit. This is called dry brushing. And I'm just going to dry brush like I'm a crazy person. Just dry brush right on out of our shape there. Why? Because now I could come with my perla. I'm going to grab a bigger perla. A bigger perla. I'm going to grab, yes, a bigger perla. Remember I said grab some lavender. Now I'm going to cut this background around our figure. Right over here, there's this little white piece right there. Sometimes I'll put this just right in front of where I'm painting. I just have to look up and not over. There's this little white ledge. I like that. And now this comes here. Look at those. Dry brush. Huh. What do you know? I'm not going to do this one, though. I don't like that one. I'm going to kick that here. I'm going to pretend I can kind of see it. I did not ask the museum permission. I'm going to kick that down there. Now, with a little more water, I can knock that. And I can now just come over here and paint my iPad. I'm going to paint right up to that edge. And bring this in and down. This is a little bit lighter. See this? That's light. Then it goes medium. And then this dark. So I'm putting this light down. Alright. Now, with a little bit of Moon Glow in my mix now. A little gray titanium. That's a little more lavender. A little more goethite. Let's see what that does. That's too warm, so we're gonna add some blue. I'm now cutting in this shape. I'm painting my iPad again. There's a casted shadow. See that? That first shadow just wasn't gonna do it for me. And this is gonna come down. I got that little white spot. And then we've got this little edge. There's this coming over here like this. This is like butter. I have butter. Probably could just use gouache, but this is watercolor Wednesday. There we go. Now look at that. It's almost looking like this dude, right? Well, guess what? We've got to go a little bit darker, so I'm going to now get in here with some ultramarine blue, a little more, and some goethite. Oops, I snuck in some quinacridone deep gold. There's that little dark right here. Boop. Man, it almost could go lunar black. That's black. Now I know. Now I know. Look at that. This little dude, this little guy. There's this little black piece. This is lunar black mixed into my congealed mix. If I just put lunar black right out of the tube, it's going to stick out kind of like a sore thumb and not look cohesive. This nice dark piece coming here, this is starting to look like the exhibit. Holy cow. We now, ladies and gentlemen, are not just painting artifacts, but you are a museum owner. Oh, good golly, Miss Molly. The commentary keeps coming. That dark is going to go right on down. Look at that shadow, shape. This gets darker, but leave a little bit of that gray. And then there's a shadow shape, but leave a little bit of the gray we put down. So do you see how there's the first gray, the second gray, a little glimpse? We've got a papa, a mama, and a baby bear. There we go. Look at that. Tighten this up, Mr. Stockton. I had some real nice folks come in today. Did they buy anything? No. But I made friends. And that's why I get to do what I do. And look at that. I added just a little bit. Just a little bit. Now this kind of goes rounded out. Look at that. Would you look at that? I kind of like this double extra stage that is not in the photo. Good golly, Miss Molly. We're going to bring that under there. I usually tape, but I didn't tape today. Ooh, there's a little bit of white. Leave a little bit of white under my drawing. And someone's saying, oh my goodness, I went ahead and I already painted all that. This little shape's gonna come down. These darks are now making our picture nice and bright. Look at that. Technically that shouldn't be there, but we're gonna make this little piece come out like that. All right, I'm not gonna get that one. I'm not worried about, well, I can add some water, and now come here, and that's a little dark, friends, so I'm gonna add some buff titanium, and I'm gonna make a warm gray over here. It's almost tan. I kind of needed a warm gray to make that look like that stone color. And I'm adding a little more dark coming over to our other side and transitioning over. Look at that. Would you look at that? And come it here and over. Now, just with a little bit of bluish gray down in here, just to change it up. Light, light. This goes light next to this shadow shape. But it can't be distracting. Holy cow, we now have a background. So usually I get the question, do you paint the background at the beginning or the end? You paint the background when you're ready to. How do you like that? Silly. Let's do this shadow on the other side of the face still. This is coming down here. This is all in the shadows. Right in here. Underneath that chin. Right into there. And stop. And then come. There's the shadow shape going this way. This is coming down. This is here. That lovely thing like that. There's a little bit of light hitting the bottom of this. So I'm leaving that light along the bottom. All right. Boom, boom, boom. And we come here. And here. And here. Now it gets lighter, so I'm gonna go 1, 2, 3. That we don't add white in watercolor, we add water. And here we go. And here. Guess what I'm gonna do again? Dry brush. Dry brush. Don't fuss. If you spend too much time here, you're gonna get stuck. So just put it in like you mean it. And this is gonna come down. There's the shadow shape under this ear. A little yellow ochre in there and above titanium, and this gets lighter. Shadow shape. Maybe a little lavender, I don't know. I get crazy and just paint these things for the first time in front of you. Like, what a nut job. I probably should, like, you know, do like what I do with my classes. I should practice some stuff and then paint it, like be professional. No way. I think there is more value you seeing me mess something up and then showing you that watercolor is forgiving. You know, someone commented, I really like the comment someone put on, thank you. The name isn't coming to me right now, and this got a little short, but that's okay. Oozfraba. Someone made a real nice comment on one of my shorter videos, and it was so kind. I was telling people how to use the watercolor sticks, and you're not supposed to use the watercolor sticks as if they are a color pencil. Surprise! But the reason why I did that video is because there are people that are making videos here on YouTube that have no clue how to use a watercolor stick. They just are trying to get that that clickbait because Daniel Smith, the algorithms. Look at that nose! Holy mackerel! The algorithm likes Daniel Smith. I'm just blessed to be a part of the family. This mouth. Let's get the mouth in. And the shadow shape under that lip. Now, if you leave a little bits and pieces, you might create something really unique that's not even in mine. And so that's called a watercolor accident, and those are welcome here. So I started using the watercolor sticks because the color pencils were not matching the Daniel Smith tubes of paint I had. I'm putting a little tonal of lavender here to cool this down now. And to give it some depth. So, how do you use the watercolor sticks? Go watch the video. I mean, maybe you already have. Thank you. I appreciate you all being here with me. This shadow shape in here. And we're gonna make up my batch again. Because why? It's darker. This is darker here. Not that dark. Okay. And there's this one. All right. We've got, if you're gonna be in the San Diego area, there are some cool demonstrations that I am doing. There's one this weekend with the Watercolor Society. I've got another one coming up at the end of the month with Daniel Smith. That's what just made me remember. We've got Scott coming out. He usually goes around sharing all the cool stones and Daniel Smith goodies. I'm gonna get to do a painting kind of demonstration while he is here, along with his demonstration. I don't think it filled up yet. You would have to go to the San Diego Watercolor Society. I am doing a demonstration this Saturday at this venue for the Watercolor Society. You're welcome to join us if you're in the area. Stop by, come paint with us. It's gonna be a good time. You can get the information off of their website. where and when that time is. Dry brush, dry brush, dry brush, dry brush. Some dry brush. This dark shape, but it's more yellow than dark. We got a nice little broken piece right above the eyebrow. So if you're not, that's all good. I'm going to be still showing up here for you. You're going to demo right now. Check the flights. Who knows? Maybe you could just hop on the plane and come join us. You never know what wonderful your higher power can do for you. That eye got a little darker than what I want, so I'm gonna put some yellow ochre in there. There we go. Just got a little too dark and dreary for me. I'm gonna take a little bit of orange. A little bit of orange. Oh my goodness, look at all that orange. This is Pyro, transparent Pyro orange. It is a must. Down here, there's some of that transparent Pyro orange. It makes a good rust. If you joined us for when we did barns, I showed how to do rusty stuff on the barns for our group. We got some of that rusty stuff up in here. And it's a little bit darker than that. So I'm putting some darker stuff in there. Just put, this is called, this mark making is called calligraphy. If you're a millennial, you'll have to ask Siri to tell you what that is. There's some little love right in there. There is some little bit of rust or little teardrop business right in here. And I am gonna land this plane with a crazy technique. So you can have all the control you want with this, but there's something to say when watercolor wants more water than you think it needs. Now, some of you think this is magical. I just think, just like our own bodies, we should be drinking lots of water, right? So, I'm going to get out my spray bottle. If you have a spray bottle, hold on, don't get too buck wild. So, look, right now I'm putting some lavender. Lavender is kind of semi-transparent. And some areas I'm kind of making opaque to make some other areas pop and move around, okay? When you do this, it's gonna make some stuff look luminous. A luminosity is what we want in our watercolors. My good friend loves doing luminosity. Does so. I mean, I can't take all the credit. I've learned from people too, and that is Joseph Zavukovich. I first was going to say before Joseph was Thomas Scheller. Thomas Scheller showed me a luminosity in his work. Did the shadow move? I'm kidding. showed me luminosity, and then Thomas Schaller learned luminosity from other artists. And I had the wonderful opportunity to learn from some of them too, and also learn from him. So just like a good coach, you might have a coach in a sport that learned from other people. You're not just learning from that person, but all the other people. Whoa! And this is what you want to do. You want to go and blot this. Okay? No, we don't want to blot that. We don't want scratches where our scratches aren't. But this is the thing I was going to show you. We now are going to get a spray bottle. And this spray bottle does not do pretty spraying. And I'm going to go ahead now and say goodnight. You can screenshot that for later. If you're watching the replay, there you go. And I now am going to bring this here. So we're here if you're catching the replay, this is Watercolor Wednesday. We're here at 6 p.m. Pacific time. If you'd like to send me an email, you can reach me at info@GabrielStocktonFineArt. And I'm now going to spray. I'm going to turn it like this so you can see. What are you looking for? You're looking for the activation of the watercolor on the surface. So I'm going to do this. And you're seeing gloss, right? All 14 of you now that are watching. So you're seeing some glossy areas, and that's where it's wet. Okay? So what I've done now is I didn't spritz it all, okay? I'm creating texture. Now I'm just taking my finger and I'm going over and it's lifting some of those areas of thick paint. What? You're using your finger? That's right. Isn't that just crazy? He's a crazy guy. I don't like that eyeball going dark. So I'm just going to take a clean brush, pull out the water, and I'm going to just lift some of that out. Yeah, I like that. That's nice. Okay. And there we go. Don't take it too serious. It looks kind of puffy, like it got punched in the eye. So let's just like that and like this. And this is that broken piece. Cool. All right. So what I was showing you was where those wonderful little dots were. And I showed you first here where it was super dark. But we really don't need that area pitted. So now I'm just going to take some lunar black. And I'm going to now paint here. Because I don't need that texture there. But that's where you were able to see it with more contrast. It's happening in here, not necessarily if I can see it or not. There we go. Got some light into that eye. Got to get that Egyptian look going here in this eye. That's what's gonna... There it goes. All right. So, the next thing. Your painting or your sketch, if you were to sketch this and then go, hey, you know what? I like it. I want to go ahead and sign it. So I would put that signature right here. And we've got a really nice study. Okay? So if you're just now joining us, you might have to watch the replay. Thank you for all 14 of you being here. And all 11 thumbs up. All you that have watched the replay this far. And those that are showing up. We went over some sketching and looking at some shapes in here. We even looked at maybe thinking about if we were to draw or paint this thing from a different angle that we didn't get a view. We spent some time getting familiar with the subject. Even though we did this straight on, there were new little things that I had seen. Now, the other question I get is, Gabriel, do you take an eraser and take some of the stuff out? And then, so there's one spot I'm thinking I can take the eraser to. It's just right above this here. And just want to make sure that area is dry. But right now, I'm going to come back in here and build that chipped away edge. See that? Like this. And coming over here, I am perfectly fine with now just tightening up just some little spots in here for this sketch. And that side's a little wet, so I'm not gonna bother. So thank you so much for joining me for another Watercolor Wednesday. Let me know in the comments if you painted along or you plan on giving this a go. Will I ag wash this? No. I'm really happy with the way this one turned out. Now, if I wanted to make this look more realistic, I'm going to have to paint this a lot bigger. I'm going to have to paint this maybe at least a half sheet to get this to look like like it was right there, right in front of us, ladies and gentlemen. You know, am I gonna fix the ear? No, that I like this ear. I like this ear. And I like this fun little thing that's coming down in here. This has been a real fun. And so those of you that thought of this subject, thank you so much. We've got some really cool stuff lined up for next week. So I will see you. Have a wonderful day. I'm just going to look at the comments real quick. I'm going to come on the camera. If you have any questions, let me know. And, hey there. Let's see. What do we got here? We got Kevin Liddell. Spontaneous painting. Love it. Paula. So cool. Marcos. Good night, Marcos. All right. And, let's see. And, all right. We got Paula here. Love the idea of drawing. So we've got people saying drawing. Marcos for drawing. And Paula said Def Leppard came to mind for bandanas. I think it was either a Def Leppard or Motley Crue that put the bandana around their like thigh or knee. We were talking about for you, those of you that were joining us. We're talking about bandanas for the brim. And yes, hey everyone. It's snowing in Battle Creek, Eric. That's crazy. And hello, Jackie. And so happy to have you here, Marie and Mike. And all of you, thank you. You're welcome, Marie. And hey, if you get a chance, you can also do one of these that we did tonight, and you can email it to me. I would love to see how yours turns out. And yeah, hopefully yours turns out better than mine, because you could take a lot more time. So these have been getting a little bit longer, but I haven't had anyone complain. So enjoy. Take care, and I think I'm gonna go get a lovely kiss from my holy hottie. So have a great week and keep those brushes wet. Take care, bye, guys. And I'll show you our picture one more time. Good night. You're welcome, Paula. There we are. Do. Have a wonderful, wonderful week. I'll see you again next Wednesday at 6 p.m. Pacific time. Take care, guys. Again, that was the Black Wing audition for $15. You can get a discount on your first one. I get nothing from them, but I did hear that they do a cool thing. I would like to work with them for my students for my summer camp at the art school. All right. Take care. See you. I really hope this was helpful. Ciao.